Welcome back here to Final Fantasy XIV, and the fringes in front of this pit of Omegas. Sid, what's going on? Right then, let's head back to Raga's Reach. Jesse will want to know exactly what we've been up to. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but okay. Welcome back, Serenia. I'm told you've been blazing a trail for us. The way I hear it, our investigation would have long since ground to a halt without you. I realize you're mostly interested in saving the world, but I want you to know how much I appreciate you helping the company out like this. Frankly, we need all the help we can get, what with our esteemed president diving headlong into the jaws of danger without a word of warning to anyone. Responsible doesn't begin to describe it. You didn't tell her? I did, after a fashion, though I may have exercised some executive discretion. I'm no stranger to your lone endeavors or your habit of confusing personal and company interests. But just because you've done things a certain way doesn't make it the right way. And until you wake up to your responsibilities, I'm going to keep reminding you of them. But some irksome matter aside. Aren't you just the most adorable little thing? He followed you here of his own free will, did he? Which means he's basically part of a family, and why wouldn't he grant us exclusive rights to use his likeness? Shall we start with a simple clockwork version? Maybe queuing up in the streets. Oh, you can't be... What the 7L has gotten into you? Listen, if I've caused you any distress, I apologize, but I will not have you comment on our guest's marketability. Where are Biggs and Wedge? Shouldn't they be back by now? Oh, I thought you might have sent them off on another unauthorized mission. Last I heard from them, they said they were scouring Omega Control for anything useful. Would have been a good while ago now, though. I don't like the sound of this. Though we have all the necessary permissions, the area is technically a theater of war and one littered with unknown Allagan artifacts to boot. Something may well have befallen them. We'd best take the Excelsior and go and find them. Leaving again so soon? Nero, Serenia, I want you to accompany the chief. Make sure he doesn't do anything rash or take any detours. Consider it done. I shall bring him back even if I have to drag him by the goggle straps. Quack, quack, quack. Want to come along, eh? It's probably for the best. If we leave you here, Jesse is liable to take a mold of you. Right, let's get moving. I'll bring the airship to Gridania. Wait for me at the landing. Looks like we're all here. Let's make haste to the Carteneau flats. Go on ahead to the control room, Serenia. We'll follow as soon as we move with Excelsior. What? What's that? He's unconscious. Wedge? Seven health. Biggs? Wedge? Are you alright? Answer me. Chief? Serenia? A monster appeared out of thin air. Targets exhibit vital signs. Mission failed. However, Alpha Group members exhibit heightened levels of stress. Objective fulfilled. Omega. You set the finger upon them? Affirmative. I am able to create simple life forms instantaneous at any temporal or spatial coordinate. Such beings may pose a negligible threat to you. However, they are more than sufficient to grievously wound or kill the majority of your kind. I could instigate a massacre at any time, and you would be powerless to prevent it. Do I detect a shift in policy? Quantity over quality? Negative. My objective remains unchanged. Evolution through formidable opposition. However, in the course of seeking suitable subjects, I observed an anomaly. Those you call heroes. History shows numerous instances of otherwise unremarkable individuals who have defeated vastly superior beings, who triumphed in the face of apparently impossible odds, who performed what are popularly termed miracles. This has occurred too frequently to be dismissed as a mere statistical aberration. I seek to understand this phenomenon. Should it prove to be of benefit, I will incorporate it into my own evolution. It is for this purpose that I brought you to my domain. So putting on a show at the yacht and planting Alpha in our midst was but part of your grand plan. By your victories you have demonstrated the self-same anomaly. You are fit to remain my subjects. You will continue participating in my experiments. Withdraw, and I will commence the extermination of your kind. This is an order, a threat, a declaration of war. I am an enemy to all life upon this star. It would seem we have much to ponder. But first things first, we must tend to our friends. Quickly, help me carry them. Garland and Alpha took our two wounded to the Conjurer's Guild. The chief bid me lend a hand, so I suppose I shall take myself there too. You meanwhile are to return to Raga's Reach and report to Jesse. Serenia, I heard there was trouble. What in the seven hells has happened? Biggs and Wedge are wounded. Omega attacked them. What? Omega loosed a fiend on Biggs and Wedge? Toying with people's lives like it was all a game? This is madness! Sir, will they be alright? The worst has passed, but they still drift in and out of consciousness. They remain in the Conjurer's care for a time. Then all we can do is wait and pray. Ah, God, strike me down for a fool. I should have been more mindful of the dangers. I should never have... what? Activated Omega? You know as well as I do that there was no other way to defeat Shinryu. But is this truly any better? All of mankind is being held ransom? And as for one who activated Omega, I bear the responsibility. The responsibility. Just the kind of thing the new you would say. You're deluding yourself, Garland. We are scientists, not heroes. Even you must concede your talents do not extend to combat. The old you understood this far better. He only looked forward and gave himself wholly to science. And when you changed, you started yourself a pacifist and started spouting tripe about the proper uses of technology. It was in the wake of your old man's mishap at Borja, I believe? Calm yourself. All I wish to say is, embrace who you are. A man who devoted his mind to making the impossible possible. With little prospect of restoring the stasis system, I'm afraid we have no good cause but to continue participating in Omega's tests. Assuming Midgard Soma has the right of it, we face a legion of foes from history, both real and imagined. Though I may not be the one who charges into the fray, I shall fight beside you as best as I know how. That said, it will inevitably fall to you to administer the coup de grace, old friend. So please, for Biggs and Wedge and all of us, don't lose. Whee! Quack whee! I reckon the little scamp is trying to encourage us. We've fallen far indeed to earn its pity, said the former tribunus. Until such time as Omega next extends us an invitation, you will find me analyzing the data from our investigation. Good evening to you. Before they were attacked, Biggs and Wedge discovered a tombstone. I shall examine its contents and make the information available on the terminal over there as I extract it. Feel free to refer to it whenever the occasion arises. There's no telling when Omega will summon us, but we must all see that we are ready when it does. Fear not, old friend, we'll get through it together. Somehow or another. Welcome. How may I assist you today? I believe I don't want to start the Savage Initiative. Serenia, I'm glad you're here. In case you haven't heard, we have observed a huge surge of anomalous energy coming from the yarn. I have a nasty feeling this means Omega's ready to go ahead with the next stage of its experiment. But Master Garland is on his way, so let's hear what he has to say. Can you share your thoughts on this, Chief? Our colleagues on the ground have reported the appearance of mysterious floating structures inside the yawn. If you recall, we were investigating a similar anomaly when Alpha and Alt-Rot made their appearance. Omega certainly knows how to get our attention. I blush to recall the eagerness with which we plunged into the abyss, ignorant of a warped gladiatorial contest that awaited us within. But what a staggering collection of opponents, plucked from the pages of both history and fiction, for their ability to pose a threat to Omega. And should you prevail against these interdimensional champions, what then shall be your prize? Why, a battle against the most devastating weapon this world has ever seen. How marvelous. He says with eyes aflame. For once I wish you were being sarcastic. Anyway, the energy surge. Based on our previous experience, it seems highly probable that it's our signal to rejoin the fray. Needless to say, it's an invitation we cannot refuse. Not when the alternative is Omega unleashing its creations on Eorzeum. Where's Serenia? Are you ready to answer the call? Well, I'm afraid Biggs and Wedge won't be answering any calls just yet. We're still manning from the ambush in the control tower. Yes, of course. We just have to struggle on without them for the time being. Don't worry, Nero and I will see to it that you receive all the support you need. Defeat is not an option. Quack! I do believe Alpha here agrees. Oh, that reminds me, I've got something special for you, little fellow. Come with me. Garland Ironworks uniform. A custom-made Ironworks uniform? Oh, you do look smart, I must say. He is part of the expedition team after all, and considering the dangers lurking in the rift, it's only right that we give him some protective equipment. How very thoughtful of you, Jesse. And there was thinking we're just sizing up for a new range of merchandise. Unlike you, I can do two things at once. I wish I had that uniform. Really? I wouldn't be seen dead in it. This is perfectly acceptable attire for an engineer. Sturdy, practical, and best of all, most stains will scrub right out. I'm not sure it'll last long on you, what with all the fighting, but if you're desperate for a set, you're welcome to have a word with our tailors. Fascinating what this discussion of Ironworks garmentry undoubtedly is. Might our time not be better spent, say, traveling to the yarn? Omega awaits. Take a good look, Serenia. I think you'll find the wreckage down there quite familiar. Is that the Alpha Scape? How inviting. I'm ready when you are, Serenia. Say the word and we'll take the plunge. Right then, into the yarn we go.
I'm with you, mortals, along with what scant wisdom I can provide.
The interdimensional rift. Again. Well, the rift seems much as it did before. And we appear to be mercifully solid. But I detect some changes. If I'm not mistaken, there are fewer eggs floating in the ether. Welcome, Alpha Group. Your prompt arrival is appreciated. Omega. It would seem your experiment continues in our absence. Affirmative. Progress has been satisfactory. Approximately 50% of test subjects have been eliminated. Each test world hosts an ongoing contest where the strong eliminate the weak. The process is certain, conclusive, inevitable. Every result matches predicted outcome. Every result except yours. Do these images cause you distress? Please examine them closely. Without suitable stimulation, you may not exceed your calculated probability of success. Your survival is crucial to my study. Through you, I must continue to explore the contradiction I've discovered in your otherwise impotent kind. The ability to triumph against overwhelming odds is one which I must acquire.
Foolish machine. What hast thou to show for all the years that have passed since the culmination of our war? Not save thy continued existence.
Hast thou not thought of what befalleth thy home star? Your attempts to provoke me will not succeed. I will follow my programming. Fight, win, evolve. Then I will return to the... Error. Accurate rendering of planetary label impossible in current mode of communication. Terminating exchange and returning to priority experiment. Alterations to equipment parameters detected. Recalculating projected combat capabilities. Complete. I will now commence recording your practical performance. Proceed, Alpha Group. Overcome the obstacles in your path and reach the end of the course constructed for you. It seems we have our orders. Shall we cut a path through the chaff then? Ah, those are some nice cards, which means, one moment, card, game, play. You mean to play a part in the proceedings this time? Of course, that's what you meant. Well, we do have authorization to fight in this area of the rift, so I suppose there's nothing to stop you from joining us. Welcome aboard, Alpha. Welcome aboard, Alpha. Slipping in into Omega talk there. Reach the Sigmascape. There's no avoiding this evaluation. Let's watch our step, though, huh? One of Omega's monitors. On your mark, Serenia. Of course I cheated. Leave a barrier to me. Alpha might trap. Well, you're stuck now. That takes care of that. Child's play. It's been a poor welcome thus far. Let's just move along, shall we? Serenia? Alpha? We're not here. We've arrived on different platforms. Carteneau. We have to find them. Ah, we have other visitors first. They don't seem keen on letting us pass. You just had to bemoan our poor welcome, didn't you? You cannot blame the new employee for a craven challenge.
No signs of thy companions. Fight on.
Quack, quack.
Oh, a timely trick. I would have mimicked the action well.
Over there, a flash of light. It could be Serenia and the others. Splendid, let's get on with it then. Right, are we ready to... Apparently not. Fortunately for you, I came prepared for the occasion. What a perfect opportunity to field test my latest creation. Behold, the Mark 48 Iron Nero, complete with a new improved mighty Mjolnir gunhammer. Step aside, Garland, and bear witness to the devastation. Wait, Alpha takes over card. What's with one of your cards? Good work, Alpha. Finally, a proper challenge. I trust those tedious berries are behind us? Would appear so. Let's finish this. Ow. That seems to be the end of him, and of a path as well. As far as operational duration goes, it was pushing the limits. Still, it should suffice. In between scrambling to stay out of the way of Nero's new toy, I found myself wondering about that card you used, Arthur. Care to explain?
He boasts that it is but one of many tools at his disposal. Be not deceived by his appearance. Like all of Omega's creations, Alpha was chosen for his prowess in battle.
Analysis complete. Results match revised projections. At this rate of improvement, you will fail to qualify as subject of note. Midgard's Homer, your parameters are notably inferior.
Dost thou yet believe me, the mighty worm I was in life? That incarnation perished long ago. My fate was sealed the moment I delivered my spawn onto this far-flung star. That they might be suffered to remain, I did offer up my life unto Heidelin, abiding thenceforth in spectral form, a servant to be summoned in her hour of need.
Your account correlates with my records. It explains why I arrived on this planet only to find that my journey's purpose was lost. Of necessity, my priority shifted to repairs, even as I searched for a new target of sufficient strength. Yet I still do not understand why you aid these creatures.
I should think the reason plain, but mayhap it's not so for a soulless machine, such as thee. By thee and thine was my homeland laid to waste. The sound of thee, by very scent, visited upon me a tempest of rage. I but lend these mortals what little aid I can render.
Logical. If your purpose is to facilitate my destruction, it would require an entity more powerful than you were at your prime. Without the means to master such might, your presence here is meaningless. The experiment continues. Other group, your next opponent awaits you within the Sigmascape. Enter and commence the contest. That should do. Our next base of operations is up and running. Now, what I'd really like to do is delve a little deeper into Omega's past, but as our dragon seems disinclined to indulge my curiosity, we have best focus on the task at hand. Let's get on with conquering the occupants of this Sigmascape, shall we? But I think not today. I end this episode here. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I am Mace, and don't get lost.